have not spoken publicly about this before, but I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells from a boat nearby. What I saw has stayed with me, and I believe it's important information. I have provided or intend to provide my account to the appropriate investigators because Nolan's family deserves the truth. Out of respect for the ongoing investigation, I won't speculate beyond what I personally observed. While I was on the boat near the area, I witnessed an altercation involving Nolan Wells and several other individuals. I saw what appeared to be an argument that escalated after there was a dispute involving Nolan's phone. I heard Nolan yelling for his phone to be returned. The argument continued after the group reached shore, and I observed a physical fight involving Nolan and multiple people. I also observed a young woman telling them to stop. At that point, I left the area because the situation had appeared to be getting worse. I did not remain long enough to witness what happened afterward. Everything beyond what I personally observed would be speculation, so I cannot honestly say what occurred after I left. Then she said she messaged one of the individuals that she saw, hey, I just want to say I was a passenger on another boat and I saw the argument between you guys and we'll go to the police with this information. I also have video footage. My husband doesn't show much, but it shows the argument that was taken and how you guys were upset at Nolan because of the young lady.
So we all heard this, right? You know, this woman saying that she saw something. She saw that there was a fight, there was a confrontation, and this rumor has been out for a couple weeks now, right? But the district attorney she's not talking to nobody. If you ain't the boys' lawyers or whatever, she's not talking to anybody. We know this based off of what Nolan Wells' mother and Ben Crumpler said, right? She's not being transparent. Right? They was having a problem. They having a problem now with his rumors about the phone. They had to come out and say, hey, we don't have a problem getting the phone back, but we had a deal where we supposed to sit down with you, our lawyers, the FBI. We was all supposed to sit down and go through this phone together. No, you're trying to force us to just give you the phone while you don't give us any information. Right? So we don't know if this is a credible source or not, but we know that it's a source that's out there. Right? But man, oh man. Man, oh man. Nancy Grace is asking questions. Officer Tatum, man. Oh, Lord.
Formerly in the public defender's office, they try a ton of cases. Philip, first of all, has she turned it into police? She said she was. If she hasn't, I give her no credibility at all. Look, I want this to be true. Why? Because I want the video. I want to see the timestamp on the video. I want to see, was he still on Horn Island at 4:30 when his acquaintances on the Triton boat left? I want that video. And if she hasn't brought this forward to LE, law enforcement, then it means nothing to me. I mean, if I know a young man turns up dead in the water, and I know there's a controversy surrounding this, I mean, we know she knows that because she's gone online and posted it, then why not hand it over to police?
Agreed. And it should go to the grand jury for part of their investigation. But I got to tell you, if I were cross-examining her, should this even go to trial, the first question I'd ask her on that 4th of July, what she had been drinking. Before that video got activated, everybody would want to
put him up.
Drinking and smoking. You know how many people were partying?
Okay, man. Now? Have you lost your mind?
Now, this whole thing is just funny as hell. I mean, Nancy Grace is on it, right? She's using her platform to expose this, and a lot of these people look at her as a race traitor, right? So that lawyer was just sitting there, and this dude looks like he looks like he's something else. But again, he definitely looks like he's not part of the W supremacist group. He looks like he's coming from somewhere else that's trying to be a model minority. First thing he gonna say is, well, I want to know what she was drinking. What difference do it make, right? It's funny how they have these double standards and these different standards when it's a W folk as opposed to when it's us, right? So she couldn't have saw nothing. Now she probably saw something, but is probably afraid to come out and speak because of what goes on down there in Mississippi, right? But she quickly made quick work of this dude and got him out of there. But then Brandon Tatum's response to this, man, this dude is this guy, man. They should remove Uncle Ruckus and just put him there, man. I literally don't know what's up with him. To me, it's so egregious that he got to be playing. He has to be playing, bro. He can't be serious. He has to be grifted because I've never seen anything this egregious. He has to be. He has to be the descendants of the people that snitched on Nat Turner. Like that guy that snitched on Nat Turner and Denmark, and Denmark VC and them back in the day, that family bloodline. He has to come from those. He has to come from that family. He comes from that bloodline.
Brandon Tatum is joining us. So after all that, all you have to say is, was she drinking? That's your takeaway from that? Joining me is Brandon Tatum, former police officer, Tucson, now star of The Officer Tatum on YouTube, who famously has interviewed the acquaintances who all say they had nothing to do with it. Let's just put that out there. He's interviewed them extensively. I want to talk about not what you want to talk about, Brandon Tatum, which is they had nothing to do with this, because I met them and I believe them. So noted. Can we talk about a potential witness to an altercation? And she seems to suggest it was over Katie. Why? Don't know what the altercation was. Maybe it was, hey, leave her alone and get on the boat. Or leave her alone, she's my girlfriend. Or it could be anything. But if there is a witness placing Nolan seemingly in the water, I can't tell that, but having an argument with another person, a partier at Horn Island, that is significant. It could prove or disprove your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever.
Your friend's timeline.
Well, Nancy, I think that it's a big obstacle to climb here because I've never heard of this altercation whatsoever. Nobody that I've talked to have alluded that this altercation was real.
Now, it's getting to a point where this is a shame. And at some point, when does the feds come in, man? Because you have people with major platforms coming on here interviewing these boys where there's an investigation going on where somebody has been unalived or may have drowned, whatever it is, right? We want to be cautious because nothing has come out yet. Somebody could have been drowned. There's suspicion of unaliving. You have all kinds of rumors out there that somebody did something bad to him, right? And these boys are potential suspects and a potential unaliving, right? Brandon Tatum went down and interviewed them multiple times, where they've been speaking out, but where the DA hasn't even spoken, the police hasn't spoken, right? There's been no transparency, and he's on platforms lying. Could he be out there causing damage to the case? He told Nancy Grace that he's never heard that story before that's been put out there now, where there was a woman that said that she saw something. She saw an argument. She saw a confrontation. He's sitting here saying that he never saw this. But this was him a couple weeks ago.
I received a DM from someone DMing another person. Now, I'm trying to leave these names out because I want to not mess this investigation up. I think law enforcement already have this. That alluded to the fact that, and I messaged this person because I want to talk directly to the person that I saw the DM from. And we haven't talked to this person yet. But the person said in the DM to another kid that is associated, not any of the kids that I interviewed to talk to, but that could be associated to some degree, that knew Nolan, that this person wrote a message saying, me and my husband saw you arguing with Nolan, and to the effect of you're going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Now, the person did not say they saw a physical altercation. The person did not say what time they saw Nolan and this other person getting into an argument. Now, this is after their boat left. This may be somewhere around a little bit before 6. What I'm thinking at this point, with all that has been said, is that somebody knows exactly what happened to Nolan, or they saw him right before he died. I am not convinced that Nolan was just out there and drowned.
This guy is just a habitual liar, and it's a shame that he's able to just move around and lie like this. Right now, we all saw once these lawyers got involved that the lawyer had Tatum's bourbon on back on the table behind, propped up behind him, where you can visibly see it while he's on Nancy Grace, right? Because he just told Nancy he never heard of this before. But then he's on this. We can go back, and he's on his channel talking about it. He's talking about this potential witness, this mystery W woman that alleges that she saw what happened to Nolan Wells. He talked about this. Then he went down and was interviewing the boys. Right? He's on national platforms. The FBI sees him talking. The DA sees him talking. The police department sees him talking. And they just allow him to do it. But nobody's being transparent with the family. Nobody came out there and told him to shut his mouth. But they come out there and talk about the mom got X amount of days to give up that phone. Man, what the hell is going on down there, man? What is going on down there, man? This dude is, this guy is a horrible person, man.
And also Katie, whom I saw her text messages, she didn't even say this altercation occurred. What I will say is that if I was an investigator in this investigation, I want to hear that. I want to be able to compare that information to other things that we may have or other witness statements. But I don't think it's significant because it doesn't show if Nolan Wells was actually killed in that altercation. She's claiming that there was an altercation between him arguing with somebody else. There was a potential fight, but that doesn't get me to how did he drown? How did he get in the water? And how did he not recover and come home to his family? So I would take that into consideration. I would compare that to the other interviews that I've done, but I don't think it's significant whatsoever. However, I would be incredibly skeptical because there's no other statements that I've heard from anybody that comes even close to an altercation with Nolan Wells and others over a girl.
Number one, he's dead shortly after an alleged altercation with another male. We think over a woman. See, in my world, I put together both circumstantial and direct evidence. Direct evidence would be, for instance, DNA or a fingerprint. Circumstantial evidence is the timing of the alleged altercation and his death. Right?
Nancy,
so it's hard for me to believe that there's some kind of altercation on Horn Island just before he dies. And they were not connected. That's hard for me to believe that.
Well, Nancy, she's not saying he lost the fight. She's not saying that he got beat up. If you look at the autopsy, there's no clear signs of blunt force trauma to his face or any of the vital areas that could kill him. So it doesn't appear that there's any indication that he lost a fight, that there was enough trauma in this. But what I was told, and you guys, please take in consideration that it's reliable sources. However, the only way to prove the truth in this is if I see it with my own eyes, if the law enforcement have the investigation of this, and also when the toxicology results come out. But people are messaging me and telling me that there is heavy drinking and there's cocaine involved. And there's a particular person whom I know this person's name. I'm not going to disclose it. I'm going to go to the police first, and then I will disclose it if it doesn't interfere in the investigation. But this person allegedly was offering people cocaine, and someone close to Nolan, one of his friends, told me that this person was offered cocaine and rejected it from this person. And I was also told, and this person told me that it's over 100% chance that Nolan was using cocaine during this period of time. This person said it was 150% sure that when the toxicology comes back, that Nolan will have cocaine in his system.
Now, he's alluding to the toxicology report, remember, that he's 150% sure that Nolan Wells had cocaine in his system. Now, mind you, all of them together, Nolan Wells would have been the only one doing these illegal substances, right? The guy tried to give it to the person that told Nolan Wells this, and he turned it down. This is what they're allegedly saying, right? Well, the toxicology report is back according to Nancy Grace, and she's saying that he didn't have any of those things in his system. Now, this is a problem because the DA is not talking. You had other district attorneys call this woman out. I'm trying to figure out. So you're telling us, Brandon Tatum, on your platform, where somebody is unalived, that somebody came and offered drugs, right, illegal substances to this boy. You have this information. You didn't go tell it to the police. How are you saying this on your platform that the potential witnesses to an unaliving, to somebody being unalive, told you this on their platform? The police ain't talking, the DA ain't talking, but you're saying this? When does the police step in? And you wonder why we don't trust Mississippi police? But he alluded to this, right? And they saying that things came back, and that's not true.
I know they're saying they're done with the autopsy and that it's complete, which means the gross findings in the autopsy room, the tox, the histology, that means that that autopsy report is complete. They just hadn't released their findings yet.
And speaking of that, Joe Scott Morgan, I've heard the same, that the autopsy is complete.
Yeah.
There are reports that there is no cocaine in Nolan's system. That's uncorroborated reports,
Okay.
but a good source. No cocaine in the system.
Yep.
Joe Scott, when the body has been in the elements, such as the water, for that long, how can I confirm if he had been drinking or not?
Oh, you can still pull a BA, blood alcohol, or blood ethanol level, as it's referred to. And again, Nancy, we're not talking about someone that has been down for weeks and weeks.
So Tatum is. So we know that we're finding out now that Tatum lied. Whoever gave Tatum this information was telling a lie, because there's reports coming that there was no drugs in his system, right? When he got pressed on this alleged mystery W woman that said she saw what happened, he acted like he didn't know what happened when we just showed evidence of him talking about it and what happened on his show. Why is this guy still able to speak? If this was the other way around and they was doing this investigation, this was a black person, they would have took his channel down. They would have came right after him and got rid of him. He'd have been finished. But he's still able to flourish because he's speaking the language that they want to hear. This man, I ain't even dealing with unfair, because we already know what's going on in this country when it comes to us, man. But Brandon Tatum has been exposed. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.